It's been some rough weeks lately and it took me a long time to watch Cyberpunk 2077 Edgerunners, and holy Jesus, smoking a Cuban cigar at a Lady Gaga concert, this show is amazing. I thought it was gonna be mid, but boy was I wrong. Taking the obvious out of the way, yes, I did play Cyberpunk 2077 when it was released, and yes, I finished it. No, it wasn't as broken as many people claim, at least in my experience, mind you, even though I did find some minor glitches here and there. Suffice to say that the game was alright for me. Not amazing, not terrible, alright. But it was sort of forgettable experience if you think about it, because it was like, okay, that was fun. What's next? And moved on with my life. So when this show was released, I was not particularly excited to watch it. I was actually surprised that they made this show. Given the context in which the studio suffered a lawsuit, the game was launched in terrible conditions, the company got hacked, and the game even got removed from the PS Store, reimbursing all the customers who were unsatisfied with the product. So I can safely say that I was not expecting the studio with so much stuff in their plate also going for an anime show located in that same universe. But there we have it. It was received with a marvelously positive reaction from the audience, and I can say that I am one of them. But what made it so good to begin with? Well, I'll state my opinion only, so take it with a grain of salt. First off, the world of Cyberpunk 2077 has always looked and felt spectacular. Whether you like the game or not, the environment, city, boss and lore are amazing. But in my opinion, the execution on the anime was much better. Despite having a hyper-realistic look on the game, I think that the over-the-top looks of the characters and environments are much better translated in anime format in my opinion. And while speaking of the characters, there's not a single character I did not like. No joke, from the main characters to the antagonists and the side characters, there's not a single one that felt forced, cringe, or even obnoxious. Yes, even Rebecca's brother, Pilar, felt charming in a weird way. I'll get to the main cast in a second, so bear with me because I have something to say about David. The thing that surprised me the most about this series is the way they handled the death of the key characters. This show wasn't afraid to kill those you care about the most and make their loss feel impactful at the moment. Normally, shows like to kill characters just for the sake of it and expect a huge reaction from the audience, when in reality it just becomes a meh moment. Not here. In this show, some characters will die before you can strap onto your panties, and before you know it, bam, dead. And no miraculous moment of we can fix it. Nope, the character is dead. The creators made an amazing job of making us care so much about the core crew in such a short time that when a character dies, it feels like a truck bashing your skull and sending you to an isekai world. And if you think that I am exaggerating or being too gruesome with my words, trust me when I say that these words do not make any justice to the gore and death presented in Edgerunners. We're talking about a bloodbath, a gore fest, a ballet presentation full of guts and organs. They do not pull back a single second. Even for someone like me, who has a strong stomach and even played Fear and Hunger, video about this in the future, make sure you subscribe, even I was like, Jesus fucking Christ! Holy shit! But it fits the world of Cyberpunk just perfect. Because if you're going on a life of crime in a futuristic environment, you might as well show the crude reality to its fullest. And they do that. The animation, colors, graphics, and direction are all impeccable. There may be a couple of moments here and there that threw me off guard and felt like they could have been left out of the show, but nothing too distracting to make me feel like it ruined the pace. Now, you know that I loved every single character in this show, but what about the main cast? I'll leave David Martinez for last because it's worth it. Falco was alright, he was cool until the very end, but there isn't much I can say about him. He's quite forgettable to be honest. I even had to rewrite the script because I totally forgot about him. Kiwi was good, but did not hit the right note with me. However, I loved how she's not a one-dimensional character in the show, and you can see even more social moments of her life. She did have a very important role in the story and I liked her, but I liked other characters more. Pilar was the stoner humor and comic relief most of the time. I know that a lot of people hated him and thought he was irrelevant, but I actually liked him a lot. He's out of line and doesn't know how to read the room, but he's fun to hang out with. Dorio was a character I was not expecting to like so much, but I ended up doing so. She looks like a tank brawler, but has a soft side, and is one of the voices of reason of the group, which gave her a lot of charisma and fun interactions throughout the series. Lucy is the babe of the show, basically the first character we meet after David and his mother. I liked her character, but she did not blow my mind as I thought she would do. Nonetheless, every scene between her and David are just pure art, and I cannot complain about her. Maine is my favorite male character in the show, and my god, I loved every scene he was in. I loved how he tries to be a father figure for David but never going overboard. He ends up being like a pretty cool uncle instead. Also, I was surprised to see a character that starts as menacing as him ending up as one of the most beloved and kind ones of the group. In his own way, at least. And now, after watching so many memes and references about her, I understand now. Best girl in the show, Rebecca. This miniature creature filled with chaotic energy and meme potential ended up being my favorite character in the show, and to be honest, she started off as the one I hated the most. Yeah, I'm not kidding, I thought she was gonna be another typical and generic Harley Quinn wannabe, but boy was I wrong. And showing these two sides of her is what made me love her so much. Every moment where she's on screen expressing her concerns about their situation and how she worries so much about David made me wish to have a friend like her in real life. And then regretting that idea because she was also mentally unstable most of the time. And now, David Martinez. Why did I leave him for last? For one simple reason. Hollywood, Netflix, HBO, every single company. Was it that hard? Seriously, was it really that hard to create a believable Latino character? Of course, this is a futuristic setup and a lot of fantasy is involved, but was it really that difficult to make a Latino character as believable and relatable as David? To whoever created the character from the perspective of a Latino, bravo!
Thank you!
You see, David lives in what could be considered the slums of Night City, and you don't see Latino culture being shoved onto your throat as a stereotype of this group of people. Because David is David. He is the way he is and gets into a lot of trouble for his behavior, attitude, lack of goals, and bullying at school. Had David been created as a black, Latino, Asian, or white guy, it would have worked nonetheless because writing came before ethnicity, and it worked flawlessly. You see, the reason I put so much emphasis on this is for the feedback I received in my video of Oye Primos and how I was tired of having this conversation of inclusivity being constantly forced by the media in regards of how Latinos are and what cultures feel like. And this is exactly what I was talking about. How come a futuristic settings with mega corporations and gore fest for fights has more soul and care into creating a Latino character than an entire company dedicated to create children's shows and movies? How come this unapologetically politically incorrect cyber titty fest shows more respect to a culture than Disney? But anyway, rant aside, David feels relatable. Not just because of his origins, but because of his development in the show. He keeps failing, losing, and experiencing tragedy after tragedy. Remember what I said at the beginning of the video, that you feel every single death in the show? So does David. And every moment that happens isn't just another filler for the show. It matters, and every decision he makes has consequences. And even though this show did not make me feel like playing Cyberpunk 2077 as it did to other reviewers, he made me want to see more of this world building. Maybe I just wanted to see more of these specific characters because I got attached to them in a very short period of time, but it made me enjoy the world of Cyberpunk 2077 in a way that I didn't when I played the game. Again, the game is not bad, that's for sure, but this storytelling had more impact than the source material, and that's saying a lot. And what do you know? While trying to get footage of this game, I accidentally came across a braindance in a dumpster who had the same first scene of the show with a message referring to David's fate in Edgerunners, connecting the game with the show and making it even more impactful. That's a nice touch. But if the show is that good, why did it take me so long to watch it? Well, the reason is because whenever a new show becomes trending, with the exception of One Piece, go check my video, I try to avoid watching it because I would rather do other stuff in the meantime. I don't like getting into trends and have people bombarding me with things I'm not interested in. But this is the first time I regret not having watched this one in time because it was truly a surprise. If you haven't watched this show, give it a shot. And if you have played the game and haven't watched the show, I promise you that you're going to enjoy it even more. But I want to know your opinion as well. What did you think of this show? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Let me know in the comments below so I can read it. I'm genuinely interested in your opinion. This is Wano and thank you for watching. Holy shit, I really need to take a leak.